What's up, guys? We're back. Today, we're going to be discussing 4 things about bodybuilding workouts that you need to know. And the way that this list have come about is because I made a lot of mistakes in my career. I've been training for well over 20 years, and I've made a ton of muscle building mistakes. And I want to make sure that you don't make those same mistakes. That's why this list came about today. So let's get right into it. So the first thing is we need to talk about the king of muscle building. And the king of muscle building is muscular tension. If you're not, I'm going to say this slowly so you understand. If you're not creating tension in the targeted muscle that you are training, you are wasting your time. Okay? I'll repeat that again. If you're not creating tension in the muscle that you are training, you are doing nothing. There is 2 schools of thought on this. One, which is right. And 2, the other school of thought is if you just move away from point A to point B, you're going to create that tension too. Now, I've done both. I've done pure bodybuilding training and I've done pure powerlifting training. I didn't get any bigger from powerlifting training because I wasn't focusing on creating tension. So if you want to get as strong as possible, then yes, move the weight from point A to point B. But that's not your goal. Your goal is to build as much muscle as possible and to be a house, right? To look at yourself and be like, damn, he's big. That's what you want. That's the goal. So if you want that to be your goal, then you need to focus on tension. So you need to throw out those movements that you don't create tension. So for example, bench press. I use this one all the time. But bench press. If you can't create tension in your pecs on a bench press, there is no reason to do it. If you get a better muscle contraction and create more tension in your pecs from something like a low incline dumbbell press, you're going to get more out of that second movement than you would the barbell bench press. There are no rules in bodybuilding. None. The rules are meant to be broken. I actually don't want to give away any other stuff because there's other points that I'm going to talk about. But anyway, neither here nor there. You have to find those movements that create the most tension in the targeted muscle. So you need to go through kind of an inventory check on yourself and say, okay, when I do lateral raises with dumbbells, I don't really feel it in my side delt. I feel it more in my traps. Then that's where you're going to create the tension. You're going to create the tension in your traps and you're going to develop your traps and not your side delts. So find those movements for you. So that's the first thing. Thing number 2, intensity over volume. Okay? What does that mean? You need to have an intense workout before you keep adding set after set after set. More is not always better. Quality over quantity. 10 sets of chest in a workout. Is that better than doing 5 sets of hard sets for chest? Answer is it really just depends, right? That's like the real answer. But I'm talking about those guys who do like insane amounts of volume, where they do like, upper flies and lower flies on the cable machine, and then like 10 or 12 different pressing movements. Like they do all these routines that really, it's too much. It's junk volume at that point. But instead, we need to focus on intensity. Make sure you take every set to its absolute most. You take it to the end, right? Like, okay, yeah, I can't do any other reps with good form here. That's ultimately where you need to be. Anywhere between 0 to 1 reps in reserve is where you need to be. If you're not falling there and you're falling short of that, then you're limiting your muscle building potential. And most of the time when your volume is super high like that, you're going to have to limit that intensity because you can't train intense and you can't train forever. You can't train hard and long. And I threw myself off with that one because I was wanting to make a joke. But whatever, you get my point, right? Like you can't train forever and be intense at the same time, okay? Number 3, most guys fail at this one, but full range of motion, focusing on a stretch and a squeeze. Every lift, every movement, every bodybuilding movement that you do, you need to go through full range of motion. Don't be one of those guys who do the bench press, stop halfway and push it up and just do those half reps. Not good. You got to do full range of motion for all of your lifts. But in addition to just doing full range of motion, I want you to focus on each portion of the lift. You're going to focus on the stretch at the bottom and you're going to focus on the squeeze at the top. You need to do that because what that does is actually develops your mind-muscle connection, meaning the connection that your mind has with that muscle. that you're training. And once you develop that link like that, you're actually going to get better. You're going to be able to create more tension in that muscle. And you can actually progress that way too, because if you're feeling movements more, science has actually showed that has actually improved, building muscle. All right. So always focus on full range of motion, focusing on the stretch and the contraction of every lift. Like I said, I did both before. I did bodybuilding training and I did powerlifting training. And if your goal is to look physically different and to be a force in the gym, then you need to focus on the stretch and the squeeze. Focus on developing that mind muscle connection, create that tension in the muscle. And also the negative portion of every lift is what creates the most muscle damage. So you need to make sure that you're creating the most muscle damage when you're training. Okay. And number 4 here, this is probably the most important one. You need to always strive to improve 3 things every single workout. Number 1, you need to try to increase the weight every set. Every workout to workout. So again, if you're doing bench press and you're bench pressing 225 for 10 reps, you need to try to put more weight on that bar. You need to either then, if that's the case, you need to try to do more reps. So 225 for more reps, or improve your form of that mind muscle connection. You need to do one of those 3 things every single time that you train, because if you don't, you're spinning your wheels. Remember, muscle's a hard thing to put on, so we need to create a stimulus for your body to do that. And the way we do that is with that type of intensity and forcing muscle growth on that way. Now, if you made it this far in the video, I have something for you. I have a free gift for you, a free 6-week training program that will show you how to train and not make the same mistakes that I did when I first started. And I want to give it to you scot-free, no strings attached. All you gotta do is click that link below and you can get that free program now. This was Anthony, AB Fitness. I'll catch you guys on the next one.